And thank you everyone for coming. I hope you're all excited for classes to start tomorrow. We have a pretty quick agenda, just reports and then one motion to ratify. So it should be a pretty quick meeting. Can we get approval of the agenda, please?
I move to approve the agenda.
I second.
Thank you. Is there any amendments that people would like to make to the agenda? No. Then if someone would call the question.
I'll call the question.
Thank you. Is anyone opposed? Okay, seeing none, we can now move to vote to approve the agenda. Would anyone like to vote no? Seeing none, would anyone like to abstain? Okay, motion passes 9-0 to 0. Can we get someone to move to approve the minutes of the July 20th council meeting, please?
I move to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Sorry, just remembered that I need to record this meeting. Okay, so it's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from the July 20th council meeting. Is there any discussion on this item? Seeing none, would someone like to call the question?
I'll move to call the question.
Thank you, Lauren. Is anyone opposed? Seeing none, we can now move to a vote to approve the minutes of the July 20th council meeting. Would anyone like to vote no? Would anyone like to abstain? Motion passes 9-0 to 0. Next item on the agenda.
I move to approve the minutes of the August 2nd council meeting.
Thank you, Daniel. Would anyone like to second that motion?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Mike. Is there any discussion on this item? Seeing none, we can, would someone like to call the question?
I'll move to call the question.
Thank you, Lauren. Is anyone opposed? Okay, we can now move to vote to approve the minutes of the August 2nd council meeting. Would anyone like to vote no? Would anyone like to abstain? Motion passes 9-0 to 0. Also, welcome, Drew. We've just gotten started, so you're welcome to sit in the meeting as a gallery member. So next item of business is approval of the minutes of the August 9th council meeting.
I'll move to approve the minutes of the August 9th council meeting.
I'll second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on this item? Would someone like to call the question?
I'll call the question.
Thank you, Daniel. Is anyone opposed? Okay, we can now move to vote on the motion to approve the minutes of the August 9th council meeting. Would anyone like to vote no? Would anyone like to abstain? Okay, seeing none, motion passes 9-0 to 0. Can now move forward with constituency reports. So Nick is not here, so Cami, you can go ahead.
Hi, everyone. I hope you guys are all doing well. So most of everything I've done can be found in my constituency report, so I won't go too much on that. But something that I did want to talk about is that I won't be on campus this semester, so I'm currently working on creating an Instagram account to make it easier to communicate with my constituents and with the members of council as well. If you guys have any other ideas that you'd like to give to me, let me know.
Amy, are there any questions?
Go
ahead, Sarah.
Hi, Cami. First of all, I'm sad that you won't be on campus. We'll miss you here. I hope that you can come in for maybe if we do some BOG stuff later in the year. But maybe something we did during the summer was virtual office hours. They weren't like super used, but maybe you can find a way that you can do virtual office hours from. Are you in Quebec?
Yeah, I am, and I will be doing virtual office hours.
Okay, awesome. That sounds good. Okay, that's all I want to say.
Is there any other questions for Cami? Okay, Jason, you can go ahead.
Hello? Sorry
Yep,
about
we
that.
can hear you.
Besides my report, nothing else to report. Nothing, yeah.
Any questions for Jason E? Okay, Henderson, you can try going ahead. Maybe see if your mic is working. I'm not hearing anything that you're saying. Is anyone else getting Henderson's audio? No? Okay. If there was anything really important you wanted to mention, Henderson, maybe just type it in the chat. And then we can, that or you could try calling into the meeting on your cell phone, then your audio might work then. But we will move forwards with Alex's report. Okay.
Yeah, so I'd like to quickly apologize for not getting in on time. That's completely my bad. I just didn't realize what day it was. Yeah, so in terms of my report, I don't have that much. I've just continued my committee things with governance review. In terms of sitting on Senate, I've continued kind of something that we started in quality of life, but that has kind of turned into something a bit different, which is trying to reserve spaces and make sure that reserving spaces where people can socially distance and hang out in the evenings is possible. So I've continued that with Elizabeth Yo and a bunch of other people from Res Life. Otherwise, not much has happened over the past month or so.
Thank you. Alex, were there any questions? Nope. Okay, Mike, you can go ahead.
Nothing, not a lot to report in terms of this month's meeting, other than I'm sure all the constituents are very excited to be returning to classes and getting used to the new campus environment, so to speak. But otherwise, nothing more than that.
Thank you, Mike. Any questions for him?
Yeah, I have a question, Mike. Just because this has come up with my constituents just recently and also a little bit with Drew's, I think. You had something in your report about the program fees, whether that's tuition or whatever. I think that's a common theme. So can you just elaborate on what, if there's been any progress or who you're talking to about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, sorry, long story short, there was a conversation between the student executive, that is the education student executive, on the program fees that were dedicated to practicum, some other extracurricular activities in the education program that didn't get carried forth due to the halt that COVID-19 put on the semester. So we were just wondering basically if those program fees may be carried over into this year. There's discussion that's happening with the Faculty of Education right now regarding that. There hasn't been too much progress made, but I can confidently say that sorry again, we're talking about it, and we're going to come towards a productive solution in the future.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike.
Yep.
Any other questions for Mike? Okay. Lauren, go ahead.
Yeah, so kind of the big thing in my report, which I just kind of talked about with Mike, is that I had someone contact me about the tuition and fees specifically for the online Masters of Applied Computer Science, because that program will no longer be in person. However, tuition or fees regarding the university hasn't reflected that. So I'm not sure if anyone else has been approached about this issue. If there's been any discussion or someone that I can talk to about this, I would be more than grateful if someone could direct me in the right direction. So yeah.
Can I speak, Meredith, on that?
Yep, go ahead.
So I haven't heard about that until right now, but maybe Lauren, we could connect, and maybe we can also talk with Cami and Nick as well. I'm not sure if this would really, like this would probably go right to the board. Well, I'm not 100% sure on that, but maybe Cami and Nick, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but that might be like a question we can bring to the board.
Yeah, I can definitely, send you guys a follow-up email about it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I think it's definitely something that goes to the board.
Yeah, I just realized that Nick's not even here. Sorry, guys.
And I can yield time to Drew.
Go ahead, Drew.
So yeah, for the same situation regarding like a lot of master students that are in MA SC, that is Lauren talking, like she has that in her, because council report. So the thing is that like fees for the same thing that what's is include, like I can explain what is going on right now with the fees and all. So last year the fees were increased to, we used to pay 50-50, all international students was like we paid $20,000. So they divided it between like 10,000 in first semester and 10,000 before January, right? But last year they increased it to 80-20, and this year because of COVID everything is not really good, and everything is down. So I already talked to Andrew Harkin about this. I got a chance to talk with him, and then I emailed Sarah and I contacted a lot of people regarding this, but there is not a lot of response regarding this. So that's why I try to, let's say in council, maybe you guys could help, because it's really bad situation. Like a lot of students can go in debt because it's 80-20 ratio, and that is for $20,000. If they can reduce it to like 65 or 60 as well, it would be a great help. I mean, we are trying to do it, so I would like to hear from you guys. It would be great help. Thank you.
Drew, do you want me to speak on this maybe? I don't really have a lot. Yeah, so the only thing was, so I was trying to set up a meeting with the admin next week. I wanted to be able to like pull in Andy and Andrew, and Kevin. But it was just impossible because there's 5 movement days last week. But I do have a meeting this week, so hopefully we'll be able to bring a little bit more updates to council. I was just going to bring up what you said, Drew, and now I can also talk about what Lauren's constituents have brought up to her as well.
Drew, did you want to? Okay, let's go Drew and then Alex.
Can I go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so the thing is that I contacted Sarah and everybody, like I started it 10 days ago, because I started emails from people and students, before 10 days, because the fees are due on 15th of September. So from 16th it would be past due date. That's why I contacted like 10 days ago. Yeah, one request was that maybe they could extend the date to October 1st, so people get enough time, because banking systems are also not that flexible and open to international students, right? We got to do wire transfers from our parents. That takes almost 2-3 days to reach the fees date. So if they could extend it till 1st October, like I know this is like really one heat issue that students don't deal with, but it's really dangerous situation. It can be difficult when you are in the situation. It, like my dad sent the fees, but it's not here yet because of wire transfers. Like it goes to a lot of things, So, and it's due 15th, so I don't know what to do now. So,
Alex, did you still want to say something? I saw that your hand went down.
Yeah, I still. I don't know.
Sorry, Alex, can you just hang on for 1 second? Drew, there's a lot of background noise coming from your end. So yeah, just stay muted unless you're talking, okay? Sorry, Alex, you can go ahead.
No, it's all good. So this isn't something I know that much about, which is why I'm saying it now, just because it fits in this conversation. So I know when I'm looking at, I just pulled up my student account just to make sure this is true, but I was charged 100% of my tuition for the 15th. And I haven't heard anything about anyone else, that being true of anyone else. But I can imagine if we're going to Board of Governors anyway, in terms of this kinds of fee stuff, it might be something to ask about, because I realized it seemed really, really weird.
Cami?
I just had a question for Drew, something I didn't understand. So is it still 80-20 or it's 100% due by the 15th?
It's still 80-20, Cami. It used to be 50-50 earlier, but it's still 80-20. I think we should be reduced to at least 65, which is low for Canadians or like local students. It's 65 and 35. So even if we can reduce it to make it more equitable, 65 and 35, just for time being, I know it's a big amount and they are saying that it's going to make a lot of, they are borrowing money and they're in a borrowing game and economic crisis, but if students are going in debt, they won't be able to come university and everything will be. So that is the thing. It's still 80-20. Thank you.
I think that it would be a good thing for you folks to follow up with this after the meeting, maybe have a separate discussion later this week, because we are in the middle of constituency reports and this is a really important conversation, but it's a little bit off topic. So next to give the report is you, Drew, so maybe you'd just like to offer it from the gallery if someone will yield you time.
I can yield time.
Thank you, Siobhan. Go ahead, Drew.
Thanks, Siobhan. So there was not a lot of things. Everything is included in my constituency report as well. But I am really grateful and thankful that everybody tried their best to get the MSI sessions done, and we hopefully had like 45 students joined it, and 17 have already applied for MSI. So that's a really big takeaway from this month. And I got a chance to speak for Black Lives Matter Scholars March. It was a really great experience. Thanks, John, for your oral enunciation exercises. It did work that day. Still, my mouth was dry, but yeah. And I got a new haircut, by the way. I did shave my beard as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Drew. Does anyone have any questions for him? Nope. Okay. Daniel.
Everybody, I'm sorry about the absent report. 2 weeks ago, I attended positive space training with you all. I'm very excited for this school year to start, and my first office hours tomorrow morning. Hope to see you all around.
Thanks, Daniel. Any questions for him? No. Okay. Then we can move to executive reports. Sarah?
Hi, everybody. So I don't really have much of a voice left because of O Week, but that's okay. I love O Week, so I do it to myself. But I have a pretty thorough report for all of you. And other than that, just the last few days have been pretty much O Week. And it's been, or I guess it's O Month kind of, but yeah, it's been really great, really awesome. And all the students are doing super well. And if you have any questions about my executive report, feel free to ask them right now. Not right now, or anytime, really.
Thank you, Sarah. Does anyone have any questions? Nope. Okay, Siobhan?
Hi, everyone. Yeah, so quite like Sarah, if you have questions about anything within my exec report, you can ask me questions. I am sorry that it was sent late. My Microsoft Word on my laptop had a crazy shutdown because I accidentally downloaded a computer virus, so it wouldn't let me upload any files or open them to send to you folks. But the past, I guess, 10 days or so have been dedicated to orientation, academic orientation. So academic day was actually this morning, and then we're going to do some academic programming throughout the semester. Regular conversations about OERs. The exec have done quite a lot in the past little bit in terms of like filming safety videos. We gave a virtual tour of campus. And then just some general academic advocacy stuff, but mostly we've been doing a lot of groundwork on the ground with Orientation Week, getting to talk to some sweet incoming students, but that's the most that I've been doing in the past little bit. So if there's questions about that.
Thanks, Siobhan. Does anyone have any questions they'd like to ask?
So was academic day today, Siobhan?
Yep.
And how was that?
Academic day was really good. So it was in the morning. I like hesitate to call it academic day because we're going to do a lot more academic orientation. But this morning was kind of the kickoff in terms of students' introduction into their program or their faculty. So that was really good and it was really successful. There's a couple of passive programs that students can choose to do this afternoon if they would like to, but ultimately we left the afternoon open with the intention of giving students time to kind of organize themselves academically before the school year actually starts. So there is going to be some more academic programming. We just didn't want to concentrate it into one day right before class starts because we didn't want to overwhelm students, specifically those who just got out of isolation on Friday. They probably have a ton to do before class starts tomorrow. So it kind of seemed a little redundant to do academic programming on the day that students really needed time to prioritize themselves academically. But it was really good this morning. Big turnout. Woo. Academics.
That sounds amazing, Siobhan. Thank you for all your hard work. That's awesome.
Does anyone have anything else they'd like to ask Siobhan? Okay. Then Patty, you can go ahead.
Also, apologies for not getting exec report in. It was in the middle welcome day, one of the days, I guess. So let's give a verbal report for right now. In the past month, it's been a lot of just preparation for getting things ready to start. So Student Food Resource Center is ready to go tomorrow. It will go back to its regular hours, which is Monday to Friday, 12 p.m., so noon to around 6. Drive U is set to start October 5th, and the peer support program is set to start tomorrow with regular hours, Monday to Friday, 12 to 5. Other than that, the last 2 weeks are really spent fulfilling those care packages that we put out. So in total, we filled a little over 130 care packages. And with the help of Drive U and Sarah, and even Laura Small, who is the Student Food Resource Center coordinator, we got a bunch of them out to students, and they were really happy with them. And I think the biggest win out of that was I think we got to reach a lot of students who wouldn't normally reach the Student Food Resource Center, and now they know that it's there, it's for everyone, and they're able to access food whenever they need. So I think it ended up being a great marketing ploy at the end of the day. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Just helping out Keelan and other exec members wherever they need help filling in the gaps. That's been pretty much most of it for the past month.
Well, thank you so much, Patty. Does anyone have any questions?
I just want to say how many trips Patty did to Sobeys and the Superstore and to houses and filling up boxes and oh my gosh, and filling, and like we did like oh gosh, how do we say this, but like food restrictions, so people got to choose what they got in the boxes. And just thank you for everything. Patty did like every single run. I don't think there was a run that went without him, so thank you. You killed.
I also want to shout out Alumni Affairs because they just quickly handed us $500 to help fund this project just out of nowhere. So that was huge.
That's great. Anyone else want to say anything? Okay. Then Jack, you can go ahead.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. Hope everyone's doing absolutely incredible. I would also like to apologize because I wasn't able to get my executive report on in time. Good morning. Yeah, I guess it is 3:30. I just like to say good morning. Oh, well, it's been a long week, Sean. Sorry, I wasn't able to get my executive report on either. I've been also quite busy, similar to the other executive members. But I will give a little bit of an oral report here. So basically the last month I've been preparing for the arrival of all students on campus and specifically the SCCLs. So I spent a lot of time preparing through a thorough training week with the SCCLs, which ran from the 30th to about the 9th. It was a very successful training week. We had a lot of fun. But I took also a great part in developing a goose chase game for students isolating, which ended up being great fun for the students that took part. However, the House Council coordinator, Liam Aitken, took over the lead on it and did a great job putting out new fun missions for students in isolation. Really brought some smiles to their long days, I'm sure. And then during training week was the isolation period for students as well. So during this time, we spent a lot of time ensuring that the programming in residence was running smoothly for the students isolating, and just being the main liaison between the Students Union and Residence Life team. A lot of collaboration took place between us for delivery of meals, facilitating outdoor time, and ensuring programming was running smoothly. I also helped the marketing team to film some exciting video clips to help promote the campus and community to all students, as well as some of the services that we provide. I also had to hire another SCCL mid-training week, which is always an exciting time. And shout out to all the executive members for helping with training week. Everyone came in for at least one session to kind of introduce themselves to the SCCLs, let them know what they do and how they could help out throughout the year. And after training week, it's just been a few crazy days of move-in and the continuation of orientation week. So throughout this time, I was kind of constantly checking in with the SCCLs, putting out small fires, making sure that everything was running smoothly and that the events that have been taking place are fun and safe. And yeah, that's about all, I guess. That's if I have any questions, please let me know. Good night.
Thank you, Jack. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, then Brad, you can go ahead with your report.
Hey everyone. I guess for sake of efficiency, I won't say much, but everything is in my report, and I'll just say it's been a busy month.
Wonderful. Any questions, Brad? No? Okay, then that is the last of the executive reports, and we can...
Meredith, sorry.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Sorry, Mike.
Sorry, I was late to the party on that. I just want to make a quick comment, if that was okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to give a special shout out to the exec team. Hearing all the reports today and stuff, it's not hard to acknowledge all the work that they put in this summer in its entirety, even with all the things that they've been thrown and stuff like that. And I just think it's important that be acknowledged and appreciated, and a round of applause to you guys, because you did your jobs and more. And I hope you guys know that. And yeah, just wanted to make that comment real quick.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you for being such a good counselor, and thank you all of council for being such good counselors. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mike. That was super nice.
Could someone yield me time for a comment on Brad's report?
I'll yield.
So what Brad forgot to mention too is that he became a salesman Thursday and Friday.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it was crazy.
Bradley Van Dam sat at Student Union booth for Welcome Day from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m., 12 hours a day, just selling kits to first years and parents and keeping them informed on the health and dental plans. That guy just ran the show. Julianne didn't even do anything, I don't think. Julianne just sat there and watched Brad do the work.
Miss Julianne sat there in awe because Brad was doing so good.
So yeah, something Brad forgot to mention.
Brad, do you know how many kits you sold?
I think we were like on the cusp of 300. There was like 291 or 2 or something like that. So yeah.
Awesome work, Brad. Yep. Okay. That was wonderful. You guys are all lovely. So now would you like to do your faculty report, Dr. Cash?
Hi, everyone. There's not a lot to say. We are all getting ready to start classes tomorrow. So I think, yeah, we've actually spent the summer in professional development. Lots of the professors have been involved in online courses on how to teach online, how to teach in a time of COVID. So I'm sure that you know about all of the protocol, the procedures that are in place in the classrooms. The other day, we all went and had to pick up our supplies, which our shields, our pens that we have only for ourselves for writing on whiteboards, extra masks in case students forget their masks. And so it's a matter of just designing all of the classes as well as trying to remember everything that we're supposed to do. And we've also really aware that the students, you are all under a lot of pressure, and what this council has had to achieve in the last number of months is truly extraordinary, what you've been able to accomplish, and showed incredible resilience. So I want to applaud you all for that. There's nothing really to report. Yeah, we had the scholar strike for Black Lives Matters, and in that I asked Andrew Haken to put together a committee, a multiracial committee that will look at all facets of the university and look at discriminatory and racist practices, I guess, how people are. And so hopefully he hasn't contacted me. I sent him an email about it to follow up. And then from that, I asked that the university, this committee, would be responsible for putting together a strategic plan on combating racism and discrimination on campus. But I don't know if they will do that. I hope they do. And I hope that if they do, there will be representatives from student council there. Feel free to contact him and to follow up on that if you're interested in this committee. I think that it would be really important to do. Other than that, yeah, that's it. Just a reminder to all the students that from our end, we are all talking about being aware and sensitive to the pressures that people are feeling, mentally, emotionally, the pressure from it all. So I think that all professors should be quite flexible right now with granting allowances if a student is unable to write an exam for whatever reason because of stress. I think that people are being quite flexible right now. So I just want to let you know that, and hopefully pass it on to other students, that if they have some stress, they're more than welcome to, if they don't talk, if they can talk to their professor or talk to deans or talk to coordinators of programs, or if you don't want to talk to your professor, you can go to the program coordinator or the dean or me or Kevin Walmsley or anybody, I guess. So anyway, that's all I want to say. Nothing official in the line of a report, but that's it.
Thank you, Dr. Cash. It looks like Henderson has something to say, so you can go ahead, Henderson. So I'm just going to read the comment that he said. He said, would you be able to tell us who all is in this committee so far and the ultimate end goal of this committee?
Yeah, there is no committee, Henderson. I just asked that the administration put together kind of like a task force to combat racism and discrimination on campus, a committee or a task force to examine, basically do a forensic audit of the campus for discrimination and racism, and then to create a strategic plan. The university has not, the administration has not contacted me back about it. So right now, it's just something that I have personally put forward to them, but they have not responded to me.
Does anyone have any other questions for Dr. Cash? Okay, I don't see any, so thank you very much for that, Dr. Cash, and we can go to Sean Ryan, your report.
Well, hello. So yeah, we're in day 14 of orientation week. Only 7 or 8 or 9 or 24 more days to go. No one's given any shouts to Keelan, who's not here because he needs to take a day. Keelan has been absolutely killing it in the last months leading up to this. So shout out to Keelan. I'm also telling Julianne what you said. Patty, you're going to be in some pretty serious trouble tomorrow. So we're doing fairly well throughout orientation week. We had a few hiccups here and there, but we've easily managed them. The Golden X Inn is ready to open on Tuesday, which has been some work in the last number of weeks, meeting with the liquor inspector, health inspector, getting things set up, getting all the PPE in place. We're still in the process of that. Reminder that if you, well, all you are more than first years, but if you know any first years and they haven't opted out of the health plan, remind them that they have until September 30th to do so. Also need to give some shouts to Shinorama and O-Crew, who have been phenomenal over the last couple of weeks. Shinorama, for those of you that don't know, is one of the biggest fundraising things that the student union supports. This year's obviously the model is a little bit different. Anyone that I nominated to do a 5K and you haven't done it yet, get after it and make a GD donation. $5, let's go. And I know there's a number of you on this call that I have nominated on Instagram, so let's see it happen. Yeah, all the other services and stuff like that we've submitted. Yep, that's right. Lauren reminded that grad students must opt into the health plan as well as part-time students. So only full-time registered students are automatically opted in. Anyone else that is not considered full-time does have to opt in on their own. Yep. We should be getting our audited financial statements back within the next few weeks. So we'll be ready to present those at some point in October, I believe. Yeah, everyone's been working hard all summer. Shout out to Matt and Alex too in the marketing department, who have been just like killing it with all the online bingos and trivias and calendar requests late. So it's just been it's been a very, 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 very busy couple of months, and I'd like to just thank all the full-time staff as well as the exec and everyone else that's helped. I see that there might be a couple questions, or at least one question in the chat from Daniel. Daniel Gibber.
Hey, just wondering, someone I know applied to opt out of the health plan about 2 weeks ago. When should they hear back about it?
Yeah, there is a bit of it is a very busy time for opt-outs. And we just got Barb back into the office on September 3rd. She had to take some time off and then had to isolate. So it should be relatively soon. As long as anyone who opted out did receive sort of a thank you for opting out email, then it will get processed and it will be, yeah, they will be able to opt out.
Thanks.
Yep.
Siobhan, do you have a question?
No, I'll take it back.
Okay. Anyone else have anything? Oh, sorry, Sean, were you done?
Oh, I'm done.
Okay. Any questions for Sean? Nope. Okay, then we can jump to our only item of business on the agenda today. Would someone like to make that motion?
I move to ratify Sloan Gopias for Vice President of Burke House 2020-2021.
I'll second that.
I'll second.
Okay, well, thank you, Lauren and Daniel. The discussion on this item.
Do you want to yield me time, please?
I'll use
Jack.
Amazing. Well, yes, we ran into an interesting situation where I began training week, and by day 2, the Vice President Burke resigned. She was moving off campus, so I was in a bit of a pickle, quickly trying to promote the position to either students living in Bishops or students that lived in their past years. So yeah, we ran an interview. Sadly, we weren't able to get any counselors in time, but we ended up going forward with the interview anyways. So I sat on with Nick Wells and Siobhan Lacey and myself, and we conducted the interviews. Sloan had an incredible interview. This is actually the 3rd time we've interviewed her, and this is by far her most incredible interview. She really crushed it. She is close with Broden. This past week, they worked incredibly well together. In her interview, she was very aware of COVID-19 and how different residence was going to be looking this year, as she was already in residence and she'd been isolating in the building. she'd already seen the hard work that Broden had been putting in, and she really just wanted to help out and really loved Burke. She has a lot of amazing experience and volunteer work, especially with mental health organizations and youth services initiatives, and including the Kaleidoscope of Hope Gala, Rays of Light Heaven, and Youth Services Bureau, which are located in Ottawa. She has a lot of experience in other jobs where she had to take on a whole new set of skills and had to learn very quickly, which she did quite well at. She's part of a lot of extracurricular activities that caused her to get outside of her comfort zone and be very energetic and spirited. A lot of experience in team dynamics. She was also on Burke's House Council last year as the House Charity Representative, so she has a lot of experience with the building itself and with the House Council. And yeah, so if anyone has any questions, you can feel free to ask. But we did hire her the day before, literally the day before move-in day, and she's done an absolutely incredible job with Broden so far.
Awesome.
Just logistically, the deliberation was very. Oh.
Sorry, say that again, Siobhan.
Oh, just quickly, the deliberation was probably like 2 minutes long. It was a unanimous decision, and I think that the other two of us that sat on the panel with Jack would agree with everything.
Does anyone have any questions for Jack or Siobhan? Okay. Would someone like to move to call the question?
Oh.
I heard that come from you, Daniel. Can you just...
Yep. I'll call the question.
Thank you, Daniel. Is anyone opposed? Okay. We can now move to vote to ratify Sloan Govius for Vice President Burke House 2020-2021. Would anyone like to vote no? Would anyone like to abstain? Okay, motion passes 9-0. So that is it for our meeting. Just a heads up that we will likely have a special council meeting later this month to ratify societies. Our next regular council meeting will be on October 4th. And just a big shout out to the executives and Sean and anyone else who's been working hard during orientation week, because I know this isn't the best timed meeting for you folks, but thank you for making it anyways and for being here. I really appreciate it. So that's it from me. Would someone like to move to adjourn the meeting?
I'll move to adjourn.
I'll second.
Thank you, Siobhan and Sarah. Is anyone opposed to adjourning the meeting? Or would anyone like to discuss this item? Would someone like to call the question?
I'll call the question.
Thanks, Sarah. Is anyone opposed to calling the question? Okay, seeing none, we can now vote to adjourn the meeting. Would anyone like to vote no? Would anyone like to abstain? Okay, motion passes 9-0. The meeting is adjourned. I also have to give Matt a thumbs up to let him know we're done because he can't hear us. So I'm just going to sit here for a bit.
Thanks, Sarah. Bye, everybody. Good luck at your school.
Yeah, have a good day at classes tomorrow.